Do you ever come home and look around and go, ooh, it's not looking great in here? Sometimes we feel that way, but we don't know what to do, and we don't really want to spend a lot of money. With that in mind, here are 7 ways to help your home look brighter and happier, spending $0. So the first thing you want to do is literally brighten up your house. Like, go around your house and open up your blinds. I realize this might not work in every single room. I have a bathroom with a window that faces the street. And if I kept those blinds open, my children would use that bathroom with the blinds open. So it might not work everywhere, but wherever possible, go through your house and open your blind. Let in as much light as possible. It doesn't cost anything, and it will make your home feel so much happier and brighter and more welcoming. Another easy thing that you can do is turn your TV into a piece of art. So I have wanted a Samsung Frame TV, but obviously those are not $0. I like them though because they look like artwork on your wall. But to sort of mimic that effect in rooms where you do have a TV, you can use YouTube to mimic that look. So this behind me is just a YouTube video that's a still picture of some flowers. And if you search TV art on YouTube, you will find all kinds of art pieces that you can display in your home and kind of just make things look a little brighter and happier. Because I find that when we don't have something like this going on, either we want to keep the TV on so that it doesn't look like just this big dark rectangle in our living room. And I don't really want TV to just be on all the time. Or we turn it off and it's a big dark rectangle in our living room. It's not really nice to look at. And even though our TV isn't huge, it is kind of prominent. So if you have a TV, use it to display artwork during the times of day when you don't actually want to be watching TV. You'll find that your living spaces look and feel nicer, and you might actually watch less television. Okay, next, clear your surfaces. I realize this might feel slightly hypocritical as right behind me there is a thing, but I have that thing there to hide the cord of my television during recording. That surface is actually normally clear. It just makes everything look cleaner, which in turn makes your house feel taller and more open. Going along with that idea, to whatever extent possible, hide your cords and your electronics. If you have a gaming system, maybe keep that put up when you're not actually using it. If you have a lot of very prominent cords, tuck them back. The cord on my TV, for our day-to-day living situation, when I'm not trying to sit here and do a video, it's not very prominent, and we kind of tucked it behind some books that are back there on my shelf, and it really isn't obtrusive day-to-day. So to whatever extent possible, get that stuff put up, put away, hidden, or at the very, very least, very orderly. A bunch of tangled cords and electronics sitting out where everybody can see them just kind of makes a space look messy, even though those things are functional. So get them put away, things will feel a lot better. You can also try to keep the items in your rooms as space appropriate as possible. So what this means is if your living room is a living room, it's probably not best to have your elliptical machine in there, or your printer on a table in your living room, or your kids' toys all over the floor all the time. Now, I realize space can be an issue here. My home is actually quite small. So there are things that you can do to get around this. If you really, really, really feel like you need something big, like maybe you have some kind of piece of exercise equipment that you actually use, I think that would be better placed in a back room, maybe even a bedroom, than in your main living area. Even though that also is not ideal, at least it keeps the areas that you're in for most of the day feeling more open. We used to have to keep our printer in our living room. That was just where it was most functional. Unfortunately, we've since moved it. But during that time, we actually hid it behind our living room chair, and it wasn't immediately visible or obtrusive. So if something needs to be in a specific place, see if you can at least get it tucked out of the way and as unobtrusive as possible. For kids' toys, if you're in a small enough space, like this is, like I said, a relatively small house, my kids' rooms are quite close to the living room, and so we primarily keep toys in their rooms because it doesn't really separate us from them to have that happening. If we had a large home with 2 stories, similar to the home we used to live in, toys do make their way into the living areas because you want to be with your kids and your kids want to be with you. So you may want to just consider getting some baskets or places where it's really, really easy to take that stuff and quickly put it away. Those baskets don't have to be something you go out and buy. They could be something you found elsewhere in your home that you're repurposing. Or you could just clear out like a media cabinet and use those drawers or cabinets to hide those toys. And that way you're using something you already have. You don't have to spend any money. Another thing you can do to make your home feel more open and calm and clean is just micro tidy during the day. I've talked about this several times, but it makes a huge difference. When something lands on the floor, clean it up. If something's piled onto your sofa, put it away. And when you do that during the day, just naturally, it takes very little time. It's not like you're doing this giant cleanup at the end of the day and it takes you the whole evening to fix your house. Putting away one thing that's landed on your sofa doesn't feel like a big deal, but cleaning up all the things that have landed in your living room at 9 p.m. starts to feel like a big deal. So if you micro tidy during the day, things will just stay clear and calm to a large extent. And that will make everything in your home feel a lot nicer. Finally, you can consider moving your furniture. In my old house, our sofa blocked a window in our living room for years. And it just didn't occur to me that that wasn't a great way to have a bright, open space. Eventually, we moved it and it felt a lot better. So you may want to see if you can move some of your existing furniture around. If you have a lot of stuff blocking the window, see if you can unblock that window. If you're blocking walkways because you have excess chairs, it's okay to move some of that stuff. If you don't need all that seating all the time, it's okay to maybe move it into a different room. It's okay if you find that you're really not using things to let them go. We ended up donating our coffee table several years back. I might get a new one, but as of right now, it just gives me more floor space in a room where my kids and I value floor space. It gives them more space to move and be a child. So if your room's really feeling cluttered, take a look at your big pieces and think about how you can move those around or even eliminate them when possible to give yourself literally more space. And of course, whenever possible, declutter. If you have things, especially large things in your home that aren't really seeing regular use and you let them go, your home will feel bigger. If you have a lot of small knickknacks or paper clutter or things like that all around your home and you get rid of that, it will feel cleaner and it will also be easier to clean. So those are 7 ways to make your home feel brighter and happier and spend no money at all. If you have any thoughts on this that would help somebody else, please leave them in the comments and watch this video next.